In a time of spiritual darkness, when kings turned away from the ways of the Lord and the people became lost in idolatry, God raised up a man of courage and unshakable faith. His name was Elijah, the prophet of fire, the one who stood alone against the 450 prophets of Baal and called down flames from heaven. Elijah was more than a prophet. He was the voice of God echoing through the mountains of Israel, confronting kings, challenging sin, and restoring the covenant between the people and the Lord. But how does the story of a man end when his entire life was a battle against darkness? Would he be forgotten? Would he die like any other man? No. Elijah's story ends as powerfully as it began, wrapped in fire and glory. It all started when Elijah realized his time on earth was drawing to a close. God had already revealed to him that his ministry was nearing its end. So the prophet began a journey with his disciple, Elisha. They set out from Gilgal and headed toward Bethel, then to Jericho, and finally to the Jordan River. In each city, the sons of the prophets approached Elisha and said, "Do you know that the Lord is going to take your master from you today?" And Elisha, with a heavy heart, replied, "I know, keep silent." It was as if all of heaven stood still, waiting for the exact moment when eternity would meet the earth once again. Upon reaching the Jordan, Elijah did something remarkable. He took his cloak, rolled it up like a staff, and struck the waters. The waters parted, forming dry ground so both of them could cross. It was as if God was repeating the miracle of the Exodus, affirming that the same power that had accompanied Moses was now upon Elijah. After they crossed, Elisha looked at Elisha with tenderness and said, "Ask what I shall do for you before I am taken from you." Elisha, with teary eyes, replied, "Let a double portion of your spirit be upon me." Elijah answered something profound. "You have asked a difficult thing, but if you see me when I am taken from you, it will be so." And they continued walking, side by side, master and disciple, heading toward the unknown. Then it happened. In a moment of absolute normalcy, as they were walking and talking, the heavens tore open. The silence was broken by a divine roar. A chariot of fire, pulled by horses of fire, descended from heaven and separated the two. Elijah was taken up into heaven in a whirlwind, engulfed in heavenly flames. Elisha, stunned, cried out, "My father, my father!" The chariots of Israel and its horsemen. But Elijah was no longer among men. God had taken him. Elijah did not taste death. He did not see the grave. He was caught up, lifted to heaven as a sign of God's triumph over death. A man of flesh and blood, now walking in the heavens, wrapped in divine fire. The scene was so magnificent that its echo traveled through generations. Elisha, weeping, tore his clothes in mourning, but also in transition. Elijah's cloak, symbol of prophetic power, had fallen to the ground. Elisha picked it up and returned to the Jordan. And with the same gesture as his master, he struck the waters, and they parted again. It was as if heaven was confirming, "The spirit of Elijah now rests upon Elisha." And the people, the sons of the prophets, seeing the miracle, recognized that something extraordinary had happened. A new chapter was beginning, but the flame left by Elijah would never be forgotten. Elijah's ascension into heaven in a chariot of fire is more than a miracle. It's an eternal message. God honors those who walk in faithfulness. God exalts those who remain firm, even in the face of opposition. Elijah was not forgotten. He was glorified. And later in the Gospels, he would reappear alongside Moses on the Mount of Transfiguration. Speaking with Jesus, the one who ascended into heaven in flames briefly returned to witness the Messiah. His mission echoed even centuries later, because faithfulness to the Lord transcends time and death. Elijah teaches us that to live for God is to be marked by fire, to be called to a life beyond human understanding. And you, are you willing to live a life with that same intensity? The same faith that set Elijah's heart ablaze can transform your story today. May this message ignite in you a burning desire to draw closer to God. And if this story spoke to you, if it touched your heart in any way, don't leave without clicking the like button. That helps us reach more people with this powerful message. Share in the comments which part of Elijah's story impacted you the most. And if you're not yet subscribed, join our faith-filled community by clicking the subscribe button now. It's Don T. Forget. Activate the notification bell so you'll be alerted every time we post a new inspirational video. May God bless you powerfully, and see you in the next video.